This video is going to show how to make a student links or a resources page. I want to keep this same banner that I already have. So I'm going to go up and I'm going to choose these three dots here and duplicate this page rather than clicking on the plus down there to create a new page. I'm going to call this student links. Now it has made a copy. Notice I'm on the student links page here. I'm going to highlight welcome and change that to say student links. For some reason it added another line. We're just going to backspace and get rid of that. I don't want this section, so I'm going to delete it. So now you can see I have a perfect page ready to get started with the banner that I already created on one of my other pages. Now I'm going to come to insert and use these content blocks, which are phenomenal because they're already perfectly sized squares with a text box underneath. I can select them and move them if I want to, delete one, whatever I want to do. This is going to be a page of buttons for my students to click on to go to different places. So I showed in another video how to make buttons using Google Slides. So I've already downloaded those to my computer. I can click the plus sign here to upload from my computer. Maybe you have an image though in someplace else or from your drive. Notice you also have the option to do YouTube calendar and map on here. So I already again downloaded those, so I'm just going to left click and drag them over from my desktop, put them on here. If you have more, you can go ahead and you can add another section and you can just continue to keep bringing all your buttons over. Notice here I'm going to end up with one button left because right now I don't have an eighth one. I could select this and delete it, but I'm going to leave it here for now because I know I'm going to keep building and adding more to this. So now it's really easy to go ahead and link to these buttons. So I'm going to left click on a button. Notice my only options up here are collapsible and to duplicate and trash cans. So that's strange. How do I add a link? The reason I don't see the link option is notice I have chosen this entire section, the button and the text box. I need just the button. So I'm going to left click again and now you'll see the blue dots are just around the button and now I have my option to insert a link. So I'm going to click on this. I know the address so I'm just going to type it in. But you could go directly to the website you want to link on a button and then copy it and paste the URL right here and click apply. Now notice there is the text box underneath each of these. You don't have to use those because I made these buttons to where the kids can clearly tell what they're supposed to click on. So I didn't need the additional text, but you might need it. So what you can do is you can delete that text box below, or you can just leave them on there, and that is okay too, in case you decide you want to come back and add text later. Notice once I deleted all four of them, it did move my two sections closer together. Let me undo that so you can watch that. So see right now I have this white space in between, but once I delete that last text button, it pushed them closer together. So again, that's something you want to think about too when you're creating your website. So I'm going to go ahead and click publish here just so you can see what this looks like when I go into view my published website. So you'll see here's that gray box for the button that I did not add yet. So to me, the gray button, the gray square here doesn't look that bad. So I'm going to leave it in case, again, like I said, I add something else to it. So this is the button that we linked. So notice when the kids move their mouse over it, it changes to a hand. And now when I left click on that, it'll automatically open up that website in a new tab. So this is how you create buttons on the website. And now keep in mind, there are other content block options over here, but I also can left click and say I just want to have this button down here. And maybe I want to add a text box here. So I have a lot of flexibility with what I want to do with this. And then maybe I want to add another image below here, so I'm going to paste an image on here. Notice it put it down at the bottom. I would just left click and drag it up here. So you can see that you have different options to use their perfectly squared boxes and move them around for additional flexibility. You also have the option of not using their content blocks and just bringing in a button on your own. It'll automatically make it this size to begin with. Then I can left click and drag it to the size I want. But notice now I'm stuck within the confines of these lines on the background for resizing. So if I go right here, Notice I'm not on one of those lines, so it's going to automatically resize it larger, or it might have resized it to the smaller option. And notice here with this button, you don't see the entire button. It's missing the red border lines on the side. So I have to come in here and continually click it and try to move it to get it to that perfect size to see all my buttons. So, or to see the entire button. So you can play with it with this way, but you'll notice when you bring another one in again, it's like if I brought that one in again, I have to sit and try to really resize it perfect to get it in there. But you do have that option for buttons as well. And I would again just click on it and then choose the link option and add my link right here and apply it. So this is how easy it is to make a really well organized page of resources or buttons. Or you can notice here that this was to different links for a posted art show. Maybe it's to a volleyball games, a schedule of the games that kids are playing, the after school activities. So there's so many different options for making a page like this. I'll show you one other page where I did tutorial videos. So here, instead of adding an image, I came and used the option for YouTube, and I just inserted the YouTube URL to the video. These ones I did use the option to add text underneath to give a little bit more description as to what this video was.